Warning! The following contains nothing but spoilers to Undertale Genocide Round.
All I know is, seeing what comes next, can't afford to not care anymore. That being said, you, really like swinging that thing around, huh? Listen, I know you didn't answer me before, but somewhere in there, I can feel it. There's a glimmer of a good person inside you. The memory of someone who once wanted to do the right thing. Someone who, in another time, might have even been a friend. Come on, buddy. Do you remember me?
Why do we play video games? Ever since their creation, the biggest assumption has always been that a video game must be fun. But saying that video games exist to be fun is like saying that paintings exist to be pretty. In reality, video games can evoke any emotion. What if we don't want the player to have fun? What if we wanted the player to have a bad time? After all, art does not exist to make you feel happy, it exists to make you feel. Undertale's Genocide Path is meticulously designed to be one of the least fun experiences ever created in a video game. And this is how it should be. After all, I'm going out of my way to murder every single creature in the game. In each area, the save points are replaced with a red kill counter telling you exactly how many creatures are left in each area. In order to complete the Genocide Path, all you have to do is deplete each kill counter. Now, you could watch a Let's Play of someone doing the Genocide Path, but I would highly advise against it. Playing a game evokes far greater emotions than simply watching someone play a game, and in this particular case, the people who do Let's Plays will fast forward through most of the level grinding. And that's a shame, because running around in circles looking for monsters to murder is a gut-wrenching experience. Each monster cries out in pain when hit. They almost all die in one hit, ensuring there's no challenge to entertain you. But the most sinister part is this. The more you kill, the more the random encounter rate goes down, ensuring this process is as boring and drawn out as possible. The narrative implications of this mechanic are pretty dark, as if you were searching under every single rock for a creature to kill. Eventually, the exclamation point that pops up above your head is replaced with a smile. And the worst part is, by the end of Hotland, when I had to deplete a kill counter of 40, a process that took well over an hour, I felt genuine happiness when I saw that smiley face. Going through the Genocide Path is an unparalleled emotional experience, but what makes it so impactful is that every step is a choice. Should you choose to spare even one monster and go to the next area, you'll find yourself right back on the neutral path, albeit with a pretty morbid ending. In fact, when I recorded my Genocide playthrough and went to sleep that night, I had a horrible nightmare where the monsters of Undertale had come back as ghosts to ask me why I was killing everyone. So after murdering every monster in the ruins, Toriel invites me to stay with her and won't let me leave until I prove my strength. This is almost identical to the other playthroughs, but with one important difference. Okay, two important differences. After Toriel dies, Flowey recognizes you as the fallen child and gleefully gives you one of the very few spoken lines of dialogue in the entire game.
That's a wonderful idea!
After meeting Papyrus and Sans, the content remains similar, but the tone is changed to something dark and sinister. Papyrus is perplexed by our refusal to participate in his puzzles, and acts surprised when our playable character doesn't wait for him to finish talking. Songz, meanwhile, doesn't even recognize us as human, and gives us a piece of foreshadowing that has echoed across the far corners of the internet. Aside from the new cutscenes, this experience is as boring as it could possibly be. There's nobody to talk to. All the puzzles have already been solved. Even Snowden is almost completely deserted. Everyone is trying their hardest to get as far away as possible from you. Well, you know what's about to happen. In the middle of the deep cold fog, Papyrus stands to confront us. But he's not here to fight. Instead, he's gonna try to win with the power of friendship. If you so choose, you could spare Papyrus and find yourself right back on the neutral path. But if you want to continue, there's only one option. Good God. Even after he's been murdered, Papyrus, now only a skull on the ground, still believes that you, the player, can be a better person. As you'll see over this playthrough, the Genocide Round typically brings out the best in each character. Well, there's no turning back now. And as it should come as no surprise, the waterfall area is even more deserted than the last. The Monster Kid is still here, and, with one exception, his dialogue is unchanged from the neutral or pacifist route. But of course, the Monster Kid eventually learns that you, the player, have killed a lot of people, and just like a brave and immature child would, he decides to confront you. That's right. If you want to proceed, you must swing your weapon at a defenseless child. But fortunately, swinging your weapon triggers a cutscene so incredible that it has inspired not one, but two fan-made animations.
Undyne! You're hurt. Hurt? It's nothing. Next time, listen when I tell you to leave, okay? Undyne! I'll take care of this. Get out of here! It's nothing.
Right now, everyone in the world, I can feel their hearts beating as one. And we all have one goal: to defeat you! Human! No, whatever you are. For the sake of the whole world, I, Undyne, will strike you down! You're gonna have to try a little harder than that.
Welcome to one of the only two real fights of the Genocide Path. Your level of violence is so high that only a heroic anime protagonist reformed by the power of her own determination can hope to stop you. Since boring you to death didn't work, and since guilt-tripping didn't either, the game now presents you with an absurdly difficult challenge in the hopes that you'll just give up and quit. The boss fights on the Genocide Path belong to a category of video games that's been slowly becoming more mainstream. Absurdly difficult video games where you're supposed to fail over and over again, each time inching ever so slightly closer to a victory. Examples would include Dark Souls, Toho Project, and half of the NES library. But what sets Undertale apart from those games is the narrative justification. Undertale doesn't want you to feel satisfied. It wants you to give up and stop playing. Each time you retry the fight, you're resetting time, and if you decide to quit the Genocide Path, then that's it. The story is over. Undyne saved the world from a genocidal murderer. Even the music, Battle Against a True Hero, makes it very clear who the game is rooting for. Unfortunately for Undyne, I made it to the final boss of I Want to Be the Guy, and I've beaten Toho 10. So after God knows how many attempts, I finally managed to strike her down, even though she did force me to use my butterscotch pie. Next, after spending an eternity in Hotland, we finally get to fight Metatonio. Moving right along, after walking through empty halls, we finally arrive at the new home, and this is where the final pieces of the storyline fall into place. Flowey finally reveals his backstory and explains his ability to save and reset the game before we took control of that power. As you interact with the environment, every dialogue box is in bright red. Based on the context, it's revealed that this is the fallen child speaking. For clarity's sake, I'm going to refer to the fallen child as Chara, but in reality their name is whatever you picked at the beginning of the game. Now Chara is shrouded in mystery, but we do know that they fell into the underground a long time ago and became friends with Azrael. Now, as you explore the new home, a revelation sets in. Chara is a terrible person whose consciousness is slowly being revived by our atrocious act. Objection! Or at least, that's what I thought. But there's a popular fan theory that provides a much better justification for what's occurring. Chara is actually the narrator of the game. Every dialogue box and every interaction throughout the entire game is Chara narrating their thoughts. There are several moments in the game that give this theory credibility, such as the bad opinion zone directly after Alphys does her review of Mew Mew Kissy Cutie 2. What this implies is that the pacifist run was all about teaching Chara how to solve problems without violence. But in the genocide run, the exact opposite is taught. Well, that's enough dabbling in crackpot theories. It's time for the moment you've all been waiting for. After going through the Judgment Hall, we are faced with one last challenge. Now, boss fights, in terms of video game storytelling, have a simple rule. The more difficult the boss fights, the more powerful that character will appear in the story. With that scale in mind, please admire my first attempt. Every single attack requires a perfect performance of platforming and bullet dodging. And to make matters even worse, you no longer have invulnerability frames, meaning a single mistake could wipe out half your health. Then we have the music. Megalovania just screams ultimate final boss. And even after hearing it for about the 50th time, I still wasn't bored of it. Because of the song's name, some have speculated this is actually our player's leitmotif, thus representing our descent into Megalovania. Unlike any other enemy in the game, Songz dodges every single attack thrown at him, meaning he has no health bar. Instead, your only measure of progression for the fight involves reading the dialogue boxes that pop up between each attack. And through these dialogue boxes, we finally learn the story of Songz. Songz is lazy and apathetic because he is aware of the multiple timelines but incapable of actually altering them himself. He can't find a reason to care about anything because why bother try to get to the surface when you know that one day, without any warning, everything will be reset? Suddenly, many of Songz's actions throughout all three of our playthroughs start to make a lot more sense. Because this fight is absurdly difficult, you're absolutely not intended to beat it on your first, second, or even 10th try. And since Songz is actually aware of the multiple timelines, each time you fail and reset the game, he will taunt you, telling you exactly how many times you've died in a row. This is a perfect example of using narrative justification for gameplay element. In this case, your ability to save and reset the game. And then, after you make it through a barrage of bone platforms and gaster blasters, Songz offers to spare you. He knows you've played through the true pacifist route and urges you to do the right thing, even if you know it's about to happen. It's hard not to accept his offer of mercy. After all, Songz is our friend, or was.
Get dunked on. If we're really friends, you won't come back.
Oh, who am I kidding? We're just getting to the good parts. This second part of the fight makes the first one look like a cakewalk. He'll catch you off guard with clips, use his infamous wall slam attack, and even start attacking you with bones in the menus. At this point, Songz destroys whatever's left of the fourth wall. After rejecting us as a friend, Songz calls out directly to you, the player, calling you an anomaly who will never be happy and constantly asking you why you've chosen to go down this path. After an absurd amount of attempts, after memorizing every pattern, and after getting used to those stupid menu bones, I'm about to get to his special move. Just one more attack and... Oh crap, no! I clicked check instead of fight! Damn it, Sans, I will end you! And then, finally, after 80 attempts, after dodging 36 gaster blasters, I arrive at his special attack, which consists of nothing. Having brought the battle to a stalemate, Songz uses this time to get you to question your actions. Are you sure you want to go through with this? Hell, even the strategy guide for this fight has several paragraphs explaining the severity of this decision. I experience the consequences of my actions. My agency is gone, and instead I am rewarded with complete nothingness. Actually, my reward is worse than nothingness, and here Undertale does something that very few video games have ever dared to do. By completing the Genocide Path, the game has been permanently altered. From now on, if I ever complete a true pacifist run, this happy ending is replaced with this. Well, there's only one thing I can do to atone for my sins now. I must never play this game ever again. It's the only way to keep them safe from Chara. So that's it. Goodbye, Undertale. Farewell, Papyrus, Songz, Toriel, Asgore, Undyne, Alphys, Asriel, Muffet, Mettaton, and all the wonderful monsters. I'm so sorry for killing all of you. Undertale will make you laugh. Undertale will make you cry. Undertale will make you feel warm and fuzzy, and Undertale will make you feel cold and empty. Above all, Undertale is a testament to how far video game stories can go, and its insane popularity is proof that stories in video games really matter. Overall, I hope that Undertale inspires designers to make video games without being bound by the constraint of fun. Because video games are not about having fun. Video games are about allowing oneself to experience something. And that's all for my analysis. Thanks for watching, don't forget to like, subscribe, and tell me in the comments how Undertale made you feel. Special thanks for this episode goes to unusualbox, SFS Animation, and AmazingArtistYellow for graciously allowing me to use their fan-made animations. If you'd like to see the full version, you can click right here or in the description below.